Captain June Park stood with his hands behind his back. He looked out the large window at the biggest ship humans had ever built. The HSS Thunderbolt was huge. Its metal skin shined under the bright lights of Earth's space shipyard. "It's amazing," said Commander Hana Kim. She stood next to him. The ship's shape reflected in her wide eyes. "It has to be," June said. He kept looking at the ship. "The Galactic Council didn't listen to us. We told them the Void Collective was dangerous. Now the Void Collective has attacked the Outer Rim. Now all the aliens want humans to save them." Hana nodded. "The same aliens who called us primitive now want our help." The Thunderbolt was special. It showed how humans fought wars differently than aliens. Humans mixed new technology with creative thinking. Aliens found this scary. The Council races built ships the same way for thousands of years. Humans built something new. "The Council people will be here tomorrow," said Admiral Lee as he walked up to them. His face looked serious. "They want to see what the ship can do." "Will they get to see it?" Hana asked. "The Void Collective just destroyed another Quali colony," Admiral Lee said. "I think they'll see what our ship can do very soon." 3 days later, June walked through the long halls of the Thunderbolt. Workers rushed around him. They were getting the ship ready for its first real mission. "Captain," called Chief Engineer Sung Park. He ran to catch up with June. "The shield tests are done. They work even better than we hoped." "Good," June said. "How about the weapons?" "Jin says they're at full power," Sung answered. "He's running the final checks now." They turned a corner and entered the bridge. It was the control center of the ship. Screens covered the walls. People sat at stations checking systems. Hana looked up from her station. "Captain, the Council. Representatives are sending messages. They're worried about the Pyrian colony. The Void Collective might attack it next." June nodded. "Tell them we're almost ready." He walked to the front of the bridge. Through the main window he could see Earth. It looked peaceful and blue. June thought about all the people down there. They were counting on him and his crew. "Captain," said Mina Song from her station. She worked with the ship's special computer brain called Atlas. "Atlas is ready. All systems are linked." "Thank you, Mina," June said. He touched a button on his chair. His voice went to all parts of the ship. "Attention all crew. This is Captain Park. In 1 hour we leave to face the Void Collective. They have destroyed 3 colonies. They have killed millions. No one has been able to stop them." He paused. "But no one has had a ship like the Thunderbolt. No one has had a crew like you. We will show the galaxy what humans can do. We will stand for what is right." The Galactic Council chamber was huge. Hundreds of alien representatives sat in rising seats like a bowl. At the center stood Captain June and Admiral Lee. They waited as the Council watched a recording. The recording showed a planet burning. The Quali colony was being destroyed. Huge black ships fired down at the planet. Buildings fell. Millions died in hours. When it ended, the room was quiet. Then a tall, four-eyed alien stood up. This was Counselor Dorn from the Rekian planets. "You say your Thunderbolt can fight against this power?" Dorn asked. His voice sounded doubtful. "The Void Collective has destroyed 3 of our best battle fleets." June stepped forward. "The Thunderbolt works differently. Our shields can change to stop any weapon. Your people have had space travel for less than 200 years, said another alien. This was Counselor Izara. "The Collective has destroyed civilizations that have traveled in space for thousands of years. Maybe that's why we can beat them," June said calmly. "You fight by following old rules. We fight to win." Back on the Thunderbolt, June met with his top officers in the meeting room. Hana sat across from him. Next to her was Sung, the chief engineer. At the end of the table were Jin Lee, the weapons officer, and Mina Song, who worked with Atlas. "They don't think we can do it," Mina said. Her fingers moved over a control panel as she finished the combat settings for Atlas. "They will learn," Sung said. He smiled a little. "The Thunderbolt's shields can study any weapon that hits them. Then they change to stop that weapon better. No other ship in the galaxy can do that. Jin nodded. And our targeting systems can find weak spots in enemy ships faster than any defense can change. The Council has given us permission to go, Jun said. He looked at a map of the galaxy on the wall screen. We leave tomorrow. The Collective is attacking the Parian mining colony in the Nexus sector. Hana looked worried. That's far into Collective space. We would be alone. We won't need help, Jun said. Humanity stands for what's right, even when we stand alone. The next morning, the Thunderbolt moved away from Earth's shipyard. Its engines glowed bright blue. Thousands of workers and soldiers watched from windows in smaller ships. On the bridge, Jun sat in the captain's chair. All stations report. Navigation ready, Hana said from her post. Engines at full power, Sung reported from engineering. Weapons online, Jin confirmed. Atlas is operational, Mina added. Jun nodded. Set course for the Nexus sector. Maximum C. Speed. The massive ship turned slowly. Its engines burned brighter. Then in a flash of light it jumped to hyperspace. Admiral Lee watched from a station near Earth. Next to him stood several council representatives. Will they succeed? Asked a small green alien. Lee kept his eyes on the spot where the Thunderbolt had disappeared. If anyone can stop the Collective, it's them. Why do you have such faith in one ship? Asked another representative. Because they're human, Lee said simply. And when humans decide to stand for something, the universe should pay attention. Dipitu Sao. In space, the Void Collective's main fleet gathered. Their ships were black and twisted like pieces of night come alive. On the command ship, the Collective's leader received a message. Humans have sent a single ship to the Parian colony, said a voice in the darkness. One ship. The leader's voice was cold. They insult us. This ship is different, our spies say. It has new technology. It doesn't matter, the leader said. No single ship can stand against the Void. Send 3 destroyers to meet it. Show these humans what happens to those who challenge us. As the Thunderbolt raced through hyperspace, Jun looked at his crew. They were young, but their eyes showed determination. Humans had been in space for a short time compared to other races. But in that time they had learned and built and grown faster than anyone expected. Now they would face their greatest test. Jun touched a screen on his chair. It showed the Parian colony, a small mining world with 6,000 people. People who would die without help, without the Thunderbolt. How long until we arrive? He asked. 4 hours, Captain, Hana answered. Jun nodded. 4 hours until they would face the most feared force in the galaxy. 4 hours until they would learn if humanity's greatest ship was good enough. Rest while you can, he told his crew. When we arrive, we make history. He didn't say what kind of history. Victory or defeat, life or death, standing strong or falling forever. The Thunderbolt flew on, carrying humanity's hopes into the darkness. The HSS Thunderbolt came out of hyperspace at the edge of the Nexus sector. The ship slowed down and its engines grew quiet. Stars filled the view from the bridge windows. Scan the area, Captain Jun ordered. He sat straight in his chair. Hana moved her hands over her control panel. Scanning now, Captain. The bridge was quiet. Everyone waited. The Parian colony was just one small planet. It had valuable minerals that many worlds needed. I have something, Hana said. Her face looked worried. 7 large ships near the Parian colony. They matched the Void Collective ships from the Quali attack. Jun stood up. Put it on the main screen. The big screen at the front of the bridge showed the Parian planet. It was small and brown. Around it floated 7 black ships. They looked like giant spiders made of metal. Energy beams shot from the ships down to the planet. They're attacking. The colony, Jin said from his weapons station. Energy readings show they're using the same weapons that destroyed the Quali world. Jun's face was calm, but his eyes showed anger. Begin approach. Mina, activate Atlas. Atlas online, Captain, Mina said. The ship's special computer system came to life. Lights blinked across her control panel. They've seen us, Hana reported. 3 ships are breaking off from the planet. They're coming toward us. They're fast, Jin added. Get ready, June told his crew. Sung, how are the shields? Shields at full power, Sung reported from engineering. Atlas is ready to learn from any attack. The 3 Void Collective ships grew larger on the screen. They were black against the stars. Their shapes were strange and scary. They're charging weapons, Jin said. Hold position, June ordered. Let them come to us. The bridge crew looked at him with surprise. Sir? Hana questioned. Atlas needs to see their weapons, June explained. We need to let them shoot first. The collective ships were very close now. The front parts of their ships glowed with strange energy. They're firing, Jin shouted. Bright purple beams shot from the collective ships. They hit the Thunderbolt's shields. The whole ship shook. Lights flickered. Shield status? June asked, holding onto his chair. Shields at 80%, Sung reported. That first hit was hard, but Atlas is studying the energy pattern. It's already making the shields stronger against that type of weapon. They're coming around for another attack, Hana said. The collective ships turned in space. They moved like they were alive, not like normal ships. They're firing again, Jin warned. More purple beams hit the Thunderbolt. This time the ship shook less. Shields at 75%, Sung said. Much better. Atlas has already adapted. Good, June said. Now it's our turn. Jin, target the lead ship's engines. Fire main cannons. Jin smiled as he pressed buttons on his panel. Firing now. The Thunderbolt's cannons fired. Bright blue energy shot out toward the lead collective ship. It hit with perfect aim. The black ship spun from the impact. Parts of it broke off into space. Direct hit, Jin said happily. Their engine section is heavily damaged. The other 2 ships are changing their attack, Hana reported. They're splitting up, trying to hit us from different sides. Sung, route more power to the side shields, June ordered. Jin, prepare secondary weapons. The 2 collective ships fired at the same time. Their beams were different now, red instead of purple. The ship shook harder. Warning sounds filled the bridge. They've changed their weapon type, Sung said. Shields at 60%. Atlas is adapting, but it needs a moment. Fire all secondary weapons, June ordered. Wide pattern. Don't let them get comfortable. The Thunderbolt fired dozens of smaller energy blasts in all directions. The collective ships tried to dodge, but some blasts hit them. One ship's front section exploded. The other kept firing. One enemy ship is disabled, Jin reported. The other is still attacking, and the first one we hit is trying to repair itself. Target the repairing ship, June said. Finish it. The Thunderbolt's main cannons fired again. This time the damaged collective ship broke into pieces. Direct hit, Jin shouted. 1 ship destroyed. The crew began to cheer, but June raised his hand. We still have 1 more here, and 4 more by the planet. The last nearby collective ship fired again. This time the Thunderbolt barely moved. Shields holding at 58%, Sung reported. Atlas has fully adapted to their new weapon. Jin, target. That ship's central section, June ordered. Full power. The Thunderbolt fired all its main weapons at once. The beam hit the collective ship in its middle. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the ship split in half. Both halves exploded. Enemy ship destroyed, Jin confirmed. The 4 ships by the planet are moving, Hana said. They're coming toward us, fast. June nodded. As expected. Sung, how long until shields are back to full? 2 minutes, Captain, Sung replied. Atlas is rerouting power now. We may not have 2 minutes, Hana said. Those ships will be in firing range in 90 seconds. Then we'll meet them halfway, June decided. Move toward the planet. Full speed. Jin, prepare all weapons. Target their lead ship as soon as they're in range. The Thunderbolt shot forward. Its engines glowed bright blue. The 4 remaining collective ships grew larger on the screen. They're charging weapons, Jin reported. Evasive maneuvers, June ordered. Don't make it easy for them. The Thunderbolt began to move in an unpredictable pattern. Up, down, side to side. The collective ships fired. Most of their shots missed. A few hit. Shields at 50%, Sung reported. But holding steady. Atlas recognizes their weapon patterns now. We're in firing range, Jin said. Fire everything, June ordered. All weapons, maximum power. The Thunderbolt unleashed all its weapons at once. Beams and energy pulses shot toward the collective ships. The lead ship took most of the hits. Its front section exploded. The ship spun out of control and crashed into another collective ship. Both exploded in a huge ball of fire. 2 more down, Jin shouted. The other 2 are breaking off, Hana said with surprise in her voice. They're running away. Should we chase them? Jin asked, his finger hovering over the weapons controls. June thought for a moment. No, let them go. He looked at Hana. What's the status of the colony? Hana checked her screens. The colony took heavy damage, but their main dome is intact. Life support systems are working. I'm getting emergency signals. Set course for the colony, June ordered. Prepare medical teams and repair crews. We need to help those people. As the Thunderbolt moved toward the Pyrian colony, messages started coming in from all over the galaxy. The Galactic Council had been watching through remote sensors. They had seen the Thunderbolt defeat the Void Collective ships. Captain, Mina called from her station, we're getting messages from Earth and from the Council. They want to speak with you. June nodded. Tell them I'll talk after we help the colony. Hana looked at him with new respect. The Council must be surprised. No one has beaten the Collective before. They haven't seen anything yet, June said. This was just one small group of their ships. The real fight is still coming. As the Thunderbolt approached the damaged colony, rescue ships launched from its bays. The crew worked to save the Pyrian people. But everyone knew this was just the beginning. The Void Collective would be back, and next time, they would bring their full power. But now, for the first time, the galaxy had hope. The ultimate human, Warship had proven it could stand against the darkness. It had shown what it meant to stand for what was right. 2 weeks passed after the battle at the Pyrian colony. The HSS Thunderbolt had fought in 3 more battles against the Void Collective. Each time, they won. Each time, Atlas learned more about the enemy weapons. Captain June sat in the meeting room with his senior crew. A big map of the galaxy floated in the air above the table. Red dots showed where the Void Collective had attacked. They're changing how they fight, Jin said. He pointed to the map. In the last battle, they tried new weapons. They almost got through our shields on the left side. Atlas fixed that problem, Mina added. But they're learning too. They study how we fight. Hana looked worried. Our scouts report they're gathering a huge fleet, over 30 big ships at their main base in the Void Heart Nebula. Everyone was quiet. 30 ships was more than they had ever faced. They're getting ready for a big attack, June said finally. Not against a small colony this time, against Earth. The room was very quiet now. The Thunderbolt is strong, Sung said, but against so many ships at once. We need help, Hana said. We should ask the Council to send ships. June shook his head. The Council races are still getting their ships ready. They're too slow. By the time they come, Earth could be gone. So we attack first, Mina suggested. Atlas knows a lot about how they fight now. We could hit their base before all their ships come together. Attack their main base? Jin asked. No one has ever done that before. Humans do what others think is impossible, June said. We don't just stand for what's right. We fight for it. The next day, the Thunderbolt was ready to leave. They would go to the Void Heart Nebula, where the Collective's main fleet was gathering. On the bridge, June looked at the latest reports. Council ships were finally moving to help, but they were still days away. Captain, said Hana. Message from Admiral Lee. June nodded. Put him on screen. Admiral Lee's face appeared on the main screen. He looked serious. Captain Park, he said. The Council has sent new information. The collective fleet is bigger than we thought. Maybe 40 ships now. June's face stayed calm. Understood, Admiral. The Council says you should wait for their ships, Lee continued. They'll be ready in 4 days. In 4 days, the collective fleet will be at Earth, June said. We have to strike now. Lee was quiet for a moment, then he nodded. I agree, but you should know. Our scientists have been studying the collective. We think they have some kind of superweapon at their main base, something that could destroy an entire planet from far away. Then we have to stop it, June said simply. Good luck, Captain, Lee said. Earth is counting on you. The whole galaxy is. The screen went dark. June turned to his crew. Set course for the Voidheart Nebula, maximum speed. The huge ship turned. Its engines glowed bright blue. Then it shot forward into hyperspace. The Thunderbolt dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of the Voidheart Nebula. The nebula was a huge cloud of gas and dust. It glowed with strange purple and red light. Sensors can barely see through this, Hana said from her station. Too much gas and radiation. Proceed slowly, June ordered. Full power to shields. Thunderbolt moved into the nebula. The gas swirled around the ship like colored smoke. I'm detecting ships, Jin reported after a few minutes. Many ships. They're in a circle around something in the center. How many? June asked. Jin checked his screens. 20, 25. Now I see 30. They're in a defensive position. Magnify the central area, June ordered. The main screen zoomed in. In the center of the collective ships was a massive structure. It was partly a ship and partly a space station. It pulsed with dark energy. What is that? Hana asked. Mina worked with Atlas to analyze it. It's some kind of command center. And, Captain, it's powering up. Energy readings suggest it's a superweapon. Aimed at Earth, June said. That's how they plan to end this. One big strike from so far away we couldn't stop it. Our shields won't last long against all those ships, Sung reported from engineering. Atlas says maybe 3 minutes at most. Then we don't give them 3 minutes, June said. Mina, upload the Nova protocol to Atlas. The crew looked at each other with surprise. The Nova protocol was their last option. It was a way to use the Thunderbolt's technology that had never been tested. Captain, Hana said quietly, Nova will overload our power core. The ship might not survive. Earth definitely won't survive if that weapon fires, June replied. Sometimes standing for what's right means being willing to make the biggest sacrifice. The crew nodded. They all knew the risks when they joined this mission. They've detected us, Jin announced. They're moving to attack. Full speed ahead, June ordered. Get us as close to that central station as possible. The Thunderbolt shot forward. The collective ships began to fire. Energy beams of all colors hit the Thunderbolt's shields. Shields at 90%, 80%, 70%, Sung reported as the hits kept coming. The Thunderbolt fired back. 2 collective ships exploded, but more kept coming. Distance to the central station? June asked. 20,000 kilometers, Jin answered. They're focusing all fire on us. Shields at 50%. Nova protocol is ready, Mina reported. The ship shook hard as another volley hit them. Hull breach on deck 12, Sung called out. Shields at 30%. 10,000 kilometers to target, Jin said. Their weapon is almost charged. June looked at his crew. They were the best humans had to offer. They had volunteered to protect not just Earth but all life against the collective. All power to engines, he ordered. Ram speed. The Thunderbolt's engines burned brighter than ever before. The ship shot forward like a bullet. 5,000 kilometers, Jin called out. The ship shook again. Warning lights flashed everywhere. Shields failing, Sung reported. Multiple hull breaches. 2,000 kilometers, Jin said. We're almost there. Activate Nova, June commanded. Mina pressed a series of buttons. Nova active. The Thunderbolt's power core began to pulse with blinding light. Atlas channeled energy in ways the ship's designers had only dreamed of. A wave of pure force erupted from the human vessel, expanding outward at impossible speed, the Me. Nearest collective ships simply disappeared as the wave hit them. Others broke apart, their advanced technology now useless. The central station cracked like an egg, its weapon dying before it could fire. On the Thunderbolt's bridge, systems failed one by one. The lights went out, then came back dim and red, overloading, Sung reported. fighting to be heard over the alarms. We have minutes at most. Collective fleet destroyed, Jin confirmed. Their command station is breaking up. June nodded, a small smile on his face. Send all our data to Earth. They need to know what happened here. Hana worked quickly at her station. Message sent and, Captain, message from Earth, the Council. Ships are coming, they'll be here soon. Then it was worth it, June said. We showed them what it means to stand for what's right no matter the cost. The view screen showed the remains of the collective fleet floating through the nebula. Beyond them, at the edge of sensor range, the first Council ships were arriving. Thunderbolt may not make it, June said to his crew. But what we did here will be remembered forever. We proved that it's not how big your fleet is that matters. It's the courage to fight when justice demands it. As systems continued to fail around them, the crew of the Thunderbolt stood tall. They had shown the galaxy the ultimate truth. When pushed to the edge, humans don't just fight back, they become something that even the darkest forces in the universe must fear. The red emergency lights blinked on and off on the Thunderbolt's bridge. Smoke filled the air. Broken screens sparked. The ship drifted through the colorful gases of the Voidheart Nebula. Captain June pulled himself up from the floor. His head hurt. Blood ran down from a cut on his forehead. Status report, he called out, his voice rough. Around him, his crew was getting up. Some were hurt. Others checked their stations. Main power is gone, Sung reported from his damaged engineering panel. We're running on emergency backup power only. Core is stable but damaged. Weapons offline, Jin added. All systems damaged. Life support is working but only at 40%, Hana said. Hana. We have maybe 6 hours of air left. June nodded slowly. He looked at the main screen. It flickered and showed static, but he could see the destroyed collective ships floating in pieces all around them. The central station was completely gone. Did we do it? He asked. Did we stop their weapon? Mina worked at her station. Atlas is barely online, but it confirms the superweapon was destroyed before it could fire. Earth is safe. A cheer went up from the crew, even though they were hurt, and their ship was dying. What about the Council ships? June asked. Hana checked her screens. They're coming, but the nebula is slowing them down. They'll be here in about 7 hours. That's 1 hour too late, Jin said quietly. Everyone was silent. They knew what that meant. The air would run out before help arrived. June looked at his brave crew. We knew this might be a one-way trip, but we saved Earth. We saved countless worlds from the collective. It was worth it. Hana suddenly sat up straight. Captain, I'm getting a signal. It's weak, but it's definitely there. From the Council ships? June asked. No, Hana said, sounding confused. It's from the nebula itself. Very close to us. Put it on speakers, June ordered. A strange sound filled the bridge. It was like music, but not music humans would make. It went up and down in ways that seemed random. What is that? Jin asked. Mina worked with what was left of Atlas. It's a language. Atlas is trying to translate it. A language? Sung asked. From where? There's nothing alive in the nebula. Wait, Mina said. Atlas has something. It's very basic, but... The strange sounds changed. Now they could hear words, although the voice was still strange and musical. Humans. Brave. Help coming, the voice said. June stepped closer to the main screen. Who are you? Where are you? We. Nebula. Life. Different. Watching. Long time, the voice replied. The crew looked at each other in amazement. There's life in the nebula itself? Hana whispered. The Voidheart Nebula is alive, Mina said, checking Atlas's readings. Or there are living beings made of the same energy as the nebula. They've been here all along. The voice continued. Void Collective. Hurt us. Take our energy. Make weapon. You stopped them. Saved us. We didn't know, June said. We came to protect our world, Earth. We know. Watched humans. Interesting, brave, stand for right. The main screen changed. Now it showed a swirl of colored energy forming into a rough shape. It looked almost like a person made of light and gas. "We help you, as you helped us," the voice said. The ship began to vibrate. Outside, the gases of the nebula swirled around the thunderbolt. They glowed brighter. "What's happening?" Jin asked, looking worried. "Energy levels are rising throughout the ship," Sung reported with surprise. "Something is powering our systems." From outside, "Life support now at 80%, 90%, 100%, Hana called out. June watched in wonder as the ship's systems came back online one by one. Lights turned on. Screen stopped flickering. "They're helping us," he said quietly. "They're saving us like we saved them." 3 days later, the Thunderbolt was docked at Earth's orbital station. The ship still showed battle damage, but it was home. It had survived thanks to the nebula beings who had given it enough power to last until the council ships arrived. June stood in a large meeting hall. The room was filled with people, human leaders, council representatives, military officers. They all watched as Admiral Lee walked to the front of the room. "Today, we honor the crew of the HSS Thunderbolt," Admiral Lee said. "Their bravery ended the threat of the Void Collective forever. They discovered a new form of life in the Voidheart Nebula, and they showed the galaxy what humanity stands for." The room erupted in applause. June felt uncomfortable with all the attention, but he stood straight. Behind him, his crew did the same. When the clapping stopped, a tall council representative stepped forward. It was Counselor Dorn, the four-eyed alien who had doubted them before. "Captain Park," Dorn said, "on behalf of the Galactic Council, I admit we were wrong about humans. We thought you were too young, too inexperienced to face such a threat. Instead, you showed wisdom and courage beyond many ancient races." Dorn held up a small device. "This contains the Council's highest honor. No human has ever received it before. But today, you and your crew have earned it." June accepted the device with a small bow. "Thank you, Counselor, but we were just doing what humans have always done, standing up for what's right." After the ceremony, June met with his crew in a quiet room. "What happens now, Captain?" Hana asked. "The Thunderbolt will be repaired," June said. "And then we'll go back out there. The nebula beings want to meet with us properly. They've been watching the galaxy for thousands of years." "And the Council?" Jin asked. "They're finally listening to humans," June said with a small smile. "They've asked us to help design new ships based on our technology. They want to learn from us now." Sung laughed. "That's a change." Mina looked thoughtful. "Atlas recorded everything about the nebula beings. They communicate in ways we've never seen before. We have so much to learn from them. And they from us," June added. "They've been watching all species for a long time. But they said humans were different. They said we were the only ones who would risk everything to save others, even those we didn't know." The crew was quiet, thinking about what that meant. "The Admiral says the news is spreading through the galaxy," Hana said finally. "Everyone's talking about the human warship that stood against the Void Collective. Not just the ship," June corrected her. "What it represents. The idea that some things are worth fighting for, no matter the odds." 1 week later, the Thunderbolt left Earth again. Its hull was patched and repainted. Its systems were upgraded with help from the nebula beings. On the bridge, June looked at his crew. They were tired, but proud. They had faced the greatest threat in the galaxy and won. "Set course for the Voidheart Nebula," he ordered. "Our new friends are waiting." As the ship accelerated away from Earth, messages came in from planets all over the galaxy. Everyone wanted to meet the humans who had saved them. Everyone wanted to learn from the species that had done what no one thought possible. "You know," Hana said quietly to June, "before all this, many races looked down on humans. They thought we were too emotional, too unpredictable." "And now?" June asked. Hana smiled. "Now they see that's our strength. When we decide something is right, we don't calculate the odds, we just do what needs to be done." June nodded. The Thunderbolt jumped to hyperspace, carrying humanity's representatives to meet their new allies. The ultimate human warship had Become something more, a symbol of hope for the entire galaxy. That's what it means to be human, June said. And that's what will show the galaxy one star at a time. 1 year had passed since the battle in the Void Heart Nebula. The galaxy had changed. The HSS Thunderbolt had become famous. Stories about it spread to every world. The name Thunderbolt meant hope and courage to billions of beings. Captain June stood on the observation deck of the newly rebuilt Thunderbolt. The ship was bigger now, stronger. It combined human technology with knowledge from the nebula beings. The hull shimmered with a faint purple glow, energy gifted by their new allies. Beautiful, isn't it? Hana said as she joined him. She wore a new uniform with special markings that showed her promotion to first officer. It is, June agreed. Hard to believe how far we've come in 1 year. Hana nodded. From one ship defending Earth to the leaders of the new galactic defense fleet. Below them, Earth's orbital shipyard was busy. 10 new ships were being built. They all used the same technology as the Thunderbolt. Each would be crewed by humans and members of other species working together. Admiral Lee is waiting in the conference room, Hana reminded him. The council representatives arrived an hour ago. June nodded and they walked together through the ship. Crew members nodded respectfully as they passed. Some were human. Others were aliens from council worlds. They all worked side by side. The conference room was large. Admiral Lee sat at the head of the table. Around him were representatives from 12 different species. They all stood when June entered. Captain Park, Admiral Lee said with a smile. Right on time, Admiral, June said with a small bow. He nodded to the others. Counselors. Please sit, said Counselor Dorn. The four-eyed alien looked at June with respect, very different from their first meeting a year ago. When everyone was seated, Admiral Lee spoke. As you know, we're here to discuss the expansion of the defense fleet. But first, we have some news from the nebula beings. A hologram appeared above the table. It showed swirls of colored gas that formed into a rough shape like a person. Greetings, friends, the nebula being said. Its voice was still musical but clearer than before. They had learned to communicate better with solid beings. Greetings, Harmony, June replied. The humans had given this name to their main contact among the nebula beings. How are your people? We are well, Harmony said. The wounds from the collective are healing, but we have discovered something troubling. The room grew quiet. What is it? Admiral Lee asked. The hologram changed to show a distant part of the galaxy. We have been exploring through the gas streams between stars. In this region, we found energy patterns similar to the Void Collective. That's impossible, said one of the council members. The collective was destroyed. Not destroyed, Harmony corrected, defeated. We believe some escaped. They are gathering again far from your worlds. June leaned forward. How many? Small now, Harmony said, but growing. They have learned from their defeat. They hide better. Admiral Lee looked grim. How long do we have? Perhaps 1 of your years, Harmony replied. Perhaps 2. We will watch them and tell you what we learn. After the hologram disappeared, the room was silent for a moment. So the fight isn't over, Hana said finally. It never is, June replied. But we're ready this time. Admiral Lee nodded. That's why this new fleet is so important. Captain Park, the Council has a request for you. Counselor Dorn stepped forward. The defense fleet needs a flagship, a ship to lead all others. The Council has voted unanimously. We want the Thunderbolt to be that ship. June was surprised. I'm honored, but there's more, Admiral Lee interrupted. We need someone to command the entire fleet, someone who has proven they can lead in the hardest times. Now June understood. You want me to become fleet commander? Yes, Counselor Dorn confirmed. You would be promoted to admiral. You would lead not just the Thunderbolt, but all ships in the defense fleet. June was quiet for a moment. It was a great honor, but it also meant less time in space, more time in meetings. What about the Thunderbolt, he asked. Hana smiled. That's the second part of the offer. I would become captain of the Thunderbolt while you command the fleet. June looked at his friend and first officer. She had been with him through everything. She deserved this chance. She's ready, Admiral Lee said, seeing June's expression. You trained her well. After a moment, June nodded. I accept on one condition. When the collective returns, I lead the fleet in person, from the Thunderbolt. The council members looked at each other, then nodded. Agreed, Councillor Dorn said. Then it's settled. The ceremony will be tomorrow. The next day, thousands gathered, in Earth's largest meeting hall. The ceremony was broadcast to every world in council space. Admiral Lee stood on a stage with June, Hana, and the rest of the original Thunderbolt crew. Today, Admiral Lee announced, we recognize these brave humans who changed our galaxy forever, who showed us what it means to stand for what's right, no matter the cost. One by one, the crew members received special medals. Sung became chief engineer of the entire fleet. Jin became weapons director. Mina was named director of the new Atlas system that would connect all fleet ships. When it was June's turn, he stepped forward. Admiral Lee removed his captain's insignia and replaced it with the symbol of a fleet admiral. Fleet Admiral Park, Lee said formally. The defense fleet is yours to command. The crowd cheered. Next, Hana stepped forward. June removed his command pin from his old uniform. He placed it on Hana's uniform. Captain Kim, he said with pride, the Thunderbolt is yours. The cheering grew louder. Later, after the ceremony, the original crew gathered one last time on the Thunderbolt's bridge. Soon they would all have new positions, new responsibilities. It won't be the same, Jin said, looking around the bridge. No, June agreed, but we'll still be working together, and we'll be building something important, a fleet that unites all our worlds. And when the collective returns? Sung asked. We'll be ready, June said confidently. With our technology, the Nebula beings help, and the united strength of all council worlds. Hana touched the captain's chair, her chair now. We showed the galaxy what one human ship could do. Now we'll show them what we can do together. As they stood there, a message came in. On the screen appeared the transparent form of Harmony. My friends, the Nebula being said, we have been thinking about your human phrase standing for what's right. It is a powerful idea. We have existed for millions of years, but we never stood against evil until you showed us how. It's what humans do, Mina said simply. Yes, Harmony agreed. And now others learn from you. The galaxy changes because of you. After the Nebula being disappeared, June looked at his friends one last time as their captain. Tomorrow we begin our new roles, he said, but we'll never forget what we accomplished together. One ship, standing against the darkness, proving that it doesn't matter how strong the enemy is. What matters is having the courage to stand for what's right. Hana nodded. And we'll keep standing, no matter what comes next. Outside the ship's windows, Earth shined blue and beautiful. Around it, new ships were taking shape, the future of the defense fleet. And beyond, the stars waited, full of both danger and promise. The ultimate, human warship had changed the galaxy. And this was just the beginning.